Joe Biden stumbles again. This time, he was asked about a cyber attack this weekend affecting 200 companies. Biden had to reach for the note cards.
With the most recent hack by the Russians, would you say that this means
We're not sure it's the Russians. I got a brief, and I'll be in better shape to talk to you about it. Hang on a second. I'll tell you what they sent me. The idea, first of all, we're not sure who it is for certain, number one. And what I did, I directed the full resources of the government to assist in a response.
Joey, I have been covering President Biden really since the campaign. I've covered him for years, since he was a senator. But in recent years, he suffers from this perseveration, which is a repetition of phrases. He wrings his hands in a certain way when he speaks at times. He goes for the notes. Given this condition, the hesitation, the confusion, how do you think that threat is viewed by Putin, that he's going to respond? And is this its own national security issue?
Well, first of all, thanks for explaining that word. We didn't learn that one down here in Georgia. I missed it when I was in Georgetown, too. So, but listen, I'm going to stop shy of saying I think that he has cognitive deterioration or whatever people, the buzzword is this week. I don't know. I'm not his doctor, and I'm not anybody's doctor. But this is what I'll tell you. I want my leader to be strong. I can't tell you what Putin's going to say, but I can tell you everyone that's about to fight a war underneath him, because we're only ever one act away from having to defend ourselves. This is not helpful. It's hard to believe someone's in charge and leading with strength when they show this type of weakness. And this is not a hit against. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm actually trying to be very gracious here. Yeah. I'm not saying he's weak. This looks weak. It looks like he doesn't know what his decision is without a note card. How do you interpret that? How do you interpret that like he hasn't made a decision? Someone has told him what it should be, and he's believing them. That's not good. That's weakness.
Aisha, clearly there are national security implications here. None of us can diagnose the president's cognitive condition. But look, Joe Biden suffered 2 brain aneurysms in 1988. He's clearly having increasing difficulties. Why do you think the media is so uncurious about this?
I think the media is curious about why maybe perhaps the Biden administration, particularly the president, doesn't want to answer certain questions. I think earlier this week there was a moment where there were questions being asked about what's happening in Afghanistan, the troop withdrawal, and then President Biden said that he was concerned that those questions were being asked because he wanted to answer them at a later date. And I find that concerning, that we need to schedule our questions around when he's ready to answer them. I think that, you know, there's often a saying among reporters, and if you continue to ignore us, we're going to only dig harder and deeper. And I don't know why politicians haven't figured that out yet. There's only so long that you can ignore us. But I think that reporters kind of got used to the nonstop availability of the former president, President Trump, who literally took questions every which way, everywhere. And I think that people knew that this administration was going to be different, but I think it's hitting now, right? It's now we're a couple months into it, and reporters are really starting to feel it now that, okay, this is a very different administration.
Yeah, well, he's clearly having difficulties with syntax, putting thoughts together, even reading cards in the teleprompter. Lisa, I want to play this for you. This is Biden at an ice cream stop yesterday in Michigan. Watch.
We're in the cherry capital of the world.
I know that, but I'm a chocolate chip guy.
True, chocolate chip.
I want a double-dipped waffle cone with vanilla chocolate chip.
Vanilla chocolate chip, we can do that.
I got 2 scoops.
You got 2 scoops and a waffle cone of the plain chocolate chip.
Okay.
14.58 on 20.
Are you buying this?
I am. Last of the big spenders.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa, this is about the 3rd time they have covered the ice cream gate as if it's a new SALT treaty. I mean, the way the media covers this thing, why the fixation on whether he's eating chocolate or vanilla?
Well, it's smart by his handlers because, you know, there's all this disaster going on, and it's like, look at the shiny object, look at the ice cream. But he likes ice cream, guys. Don't report about that. He likes ice cream. So it's a smart play by them. I love Aisha. I love Joey. Always so smart and succinct, but I think they're being too nice. The media, of course, is giving Joe Biden a pass because there are a bunch of partisan hacks who play for the liberal team. And Joe Biden is clearly in cognitive decline. We have eyes and ears. We can see it all for ourselves. And it absolutely has national security impact because even though the media doesn't want to cover this sort of thing, of course, our adversaries are seeing this. And part of preventing wars is through deterrence and the projection of strength. That's not happening with Joe Biden. And it's not just with the ice cream and the incoherence. It's also through action. I mean, if you remember back in April, Russia, they had a huge boost in their military operation along the Ukrainian border. And what did Joe Biden do? He deployed 2 warships and then canceled that deployment of those 2 warships. He also nuked the sanctions, or the sanctions, waived the sanctions on Nord Stream 2, as well as there's a series of things that he has done, both in his rhetoric appearing weak, but also in action as well.
Yeah, well, Baskin-Robbins has 31 flavors. Biden has 1, and I'm afraid increasingly it's bananas. Anyway.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.